Recording this video for close trade Friday, 31st of May 2013. Hope you had a good day's trading. Finally, we get a little bit of clarity as to what's going on in the market, so I want to talk about that in today's video. But before I do that, I just want to send out a huge thank you. Got absolutely slammed by emails after Trading is Gambling video came out. Literally almost 100 emails kind of commenting, and they're all fantastic, absolutely brilliant comments. I think only 2 naysayers in the whole bunch, but I'm going to it's taken me so long to get through them. I'm going to do a little bit of a kind of compilation, the best of kind of comments. I'll put that out later on this weekend. Anyway, let's talk some charts. And big day on Friday. Happened after I went to bed, mostly, because we got the kind of sell-off happening coming into 11 a.m. 2.2 million contracts traded. We're now down at 28s, and I said the 1640 level was absolutely key. We bounced off it pre-open during the European kind of session, while the European session was open, and then when we came back to it during the full day's session, bang, as soon as we went through it, we just like a hot knife through butter. Anyway, why this is important is because we've now got this left shoulder. Now, a while ago I was talking about this and the difference between the daily chart that on the E-mini that uses the day session only and the daily chart that uses day and night sessions. So on TradeStation, that's ES, at ES. And last time we kind of came into one of these kind of left shoulders, I was saying we need to look for a pullback to end of trend sequence. We didn't get it with the day session only data, and now we've got that left shoulder made. We're going back down to make that pullback in an uptrend. Now, last time we did this on this kind of continuous contract day and night, you can see it was a really shallow pullback, and any weakness there we just was just gobbled up effectively by the professionals. We kind of raced away to new highs. I think we've traveled so far so fast. If you look, this whole trend move has been going since December. When we broke out into a trend, kind of pulled back, so this is resistance becomes support, bounced off that, bang, we're kind of away. I think we've traveled so far that this pullback is going to be deeper than these last kind of ones along the way. So what I'm looking for is continued weakness until we get that cross on the daily chart and kind of price confirmation to put in that pullback. Still think we're going to make that kind of final pullback to end of trend sequence. When I look at the commitment of traders numbers, we're nowhere near making any of those kind of crash signal warnings on commitment of traders. So I think we'll just have some weakness for a while, certainly several days, maybe all of next week, until we find that support level and kind of bounce from there. And just to recap, I keep on talking about when you're looking at multiple time frames, whatever it is, 500, 1500, 4500 tip bar charts, or in this case the 45-minute, 135-minute, and the daily chart, you can see these end of trend moves ripple through. They kind of percolate through the different time frames. So on the 45-minute chart, we had our pullback to end of trend, which was kind of in this sequence here, and then we have that pullback to end of trend sequence on the 135-minute chart, pullback to end of trend. Finally, we'll get pullback to end of trend on the daily chart. So it's just been rippling through these time frames, and when we've got when the first one of those is in, once we get that exhaustion buying kind of pattern on the lower time frames and we get that initial sell-off, once that left shoulder is in, what we're going to be sitting at is some junky trade, and this is where the danger is during these kind of activities where we're trying to figure out which direction we're going to go in. People are taking profits, people are getting kind of wrong-footed, taking long positions, while the market is just kind of consolidating and waiting for that kind of next trend move. And there we get it. It's just like this is confirmation. We slice through 1640, bang. We're into a downtrend now, and starting to look for that support level. Again, it'll be an end of trend sequence on the 45-minute chart, starting to line up with support here. When what am I looking at here? Yeah, so this is better momentum. Just to say again, the last time we had this kind of sell-off pullback to end of trend sequence, we'd had our exhaustion buying on the left-hand side. We made a whole bunch of kind of flush patterns before we kind of rolled over and then kind of came back again. So another bite at this one. The rally's just been so strong, and the high was marked by bearish divergence. So we'd had our exhaustion buying happen around here. and then we were going higher and higher just on weaker and weaker buying. The bearish divergence signals kind of comes in, so again another reason that we're going to find weakness here, and we're going to be looking for some kind of exhaustion selling on the downside in order to mark where that pullback level kind of comes in. Look at some other ways of looking at trends. So better trend line on the 135-minute chart. We've been in this consolidation zone over the last couple of days. On the trend line chart, everything kind of looks like these consolidation zones look like little triangles. Here they're kind of painted white the way I do it on better trend line here. So we're in a consolidation zone waiting for the next trend break. Bang, we've got it through a trend line here, so we're going to get kind of continuation of this move on the way down. Better X trend. If you look at different indices, different ways of looking at that, at ES.D we're through support. On some of the INX, dollar INX, which is the S&P index, we're through it. I think on this particular version, on the at ES chart here, it's a critical kind of support level here. I think we're going to slice through it come Monday, Tuesday, so just kind of watch for that, but that'll be another kind of flip into a downtrend on this better X trend. And just a curiosity, I used to follow the bond market versus the equity market a lot closer, kind of years ago. And actually, I still think there's a good kind of feature article on bond market analysis. Now, after the financial crisis kind of hit, the bond market was doing its own thing, and has been, because of the Fed intervention and so on, it's kind of heavily, it's less freely traded as it used to be. But one of the things I used to look at that I always found kind of interesting, curious, was that there was a lagging effect between the bonds and the equities, and that the bond market would peak and bottom early, and the differential in terms of timing between when that happened between bonds and equities was exactly 20 days. And it was, you can go back, there's some charts on that better on the bond market analysis feature article. I'll link to it below this video. But it's just interesting that we've had this incredible weakness in the bond market, and lo and behold, that first bar that we just kind of sold off really hard, and I think that was when the PIMCO guys, Alarian and so on, were saying, and game over for the bond market. That was exactly 20 days ago. So again, we got this kind of 20-day relationship. So it's kind of curious. We kind of overbought in terms of the relationship between equities and bonds. Bonds are oversold, equities are overbought, and that's what this kind of momentum line is showing us here. So we'll kind of come back. So I think the move in bonds has been so strong down over the last week. Kind of, as I was saying in the last video, it took me a little bit by surprise how weak it's been. But I think we're going to bounce back up because the money will flow into out of equities and into bonds and into a bit of a safe haven. So. And yeah, that's also true with kind of the other markets, the risk on. What am I talking? Thursday, it looked like it was all risk on. Everything was kind of going up, and then just with one day's activity on Friday, all of a sudden it's like, no, everybody's wrong-footed in terms of the risk on trade. It's all risk off kind of stuff going on now. 40,500 tip bar chart. This is kind of the junky move that I was kind of talking about. So once we make a kind of a pullback to end of trend exhaustion buying type move here, market's kind of topping out, we're going to be sitting through a junky kind of move here. This kind of pushback into these kind of this 80 type level was exhaustion buying. We put in bearish divergence, we put in a flush pattern kind of here, and here's a little bit of a secret about using better sine wave. So listen up. You can anticipate changes in trend by looking at breaks of support and resistance. And I'm not talking about just a break into a trend move, but I'm talking about an overshoot here. So the market's still strong on the 40,500 tip bar chart because we're breaking above, we're overshooting the resistance lines. So during an uptrend, we overshoot the resistance. During a downtrend, we overshoot the support levels. Okay, they just come in too early. But before we get kind of a real change, a confirmation in trend, you'll always get some weakness. The support levels will overshoot. So here's the first sign that the market is weak. We overshoot a support level here. Then all the support resistance levels that we see going forward, we cannot get through resistance. Each time we come back to a resistance line, we can't even overshoot by a fraction here, maybe a half point, but we don't overshoot to any extent, certainly no closes above. Okay, but all the support levels, we get some weakness. We can see we overshoot the support levels on the downside until finally we get a decent break. This is into a trend move. on this break of this support level because we've traveled so far past it. So that's kind of a useful tip in terms of using the support and resistance levels, so you can anticipate a potential change in trend by looking for this overshoot of a support level, not having any overshoots of resistance, still having overshoots of support until we get a trend break here. So 40,500 tip bar chart, we've done all the hard work here. We tested back up, exhausted, first bearish divergence, flush pattern up here, bang, we sold off. These last 2 or 3 days, so this is Friday, Thursday, Wednesday. Wednesday we had this kind of complex correction up. You can see it was kind of just batting backwards and forwards. When you go down to the 1500 tip bar charts, all support resistance kind of levels being gone through here. Same thing on Thursday, same thing until 11 a.m. on the Friday, where it was a complex correction up and we kind of ended up kind of shooting down. 1500 tip bar chart. So this was my trading kind of on Friday. Took as soon as the market was selling off during the European session was open. So I was actually short pre-open. I was short at 45.25. Just took out 2 points. There was actually 4 points in it, but I got out too early. I got out that Rambo pattern there. Just thought it looked weak, and thought because we had support here on the 500, 1500 it was going to bounce. It was a little bit of a bounce, but anyway. So 2 points taken out here. And what happened pre-open was 1640 and a quarter was the absolute low. I said 1640 was a critical level. So we bounced off there. First of all, we come into the open. Because I saw these blue professional bars at the open, I thought this was a retrace, just because we were in a downtrend that had was pretty weak kind of pre-open. I was kind of going short initially at 46, didn't work out, had to reverse, actually exited with a 3-point loss. That was not good here. But then we get the market goes the other way. We get exhaustion buying. All the blue professional bars kind of come in. Bearish divergence comes in. So when we get the exhaustion buying on an end of trend, wait for the second cyclical turn after end of trend. And you can see what was interesting here. It was all amateur up bars into that resistance level. We'd had 2 Rambo patterns. We'd had our bearish divergence. We came into cyclical resistance, bang, and we sold off. Now, what was kind of curious about that? So what was I? I was short at 51.50, so that was good. No, I beg your pardon, 50 even. I was short. What was good about that was the market kind of sold off quickly, but it was being led by the amateurs, kind of Rambo patterns down here, and we just couldn't make it down through 48s. Just would not go. We had this amateur testing down bar, and then we kind of broke above that. So this thing, although we'd put on all the hard work with exhaustion buying, bearish divergence, that should be a classic kind of change in trend kind of sequence. No one was selling it. At this 48 level, just would not break. No one had let it sell. Bullish divergence right on the 0 line just shows how weak the selling is at that point. Bang, we raced to the upside. So got long at 50.25 as this thing kind of started to break out of that blue professional bar. Bang, that was my best trade of the day. 4 points here. I was out too early because the pro signal exits kind of came out a little bit after I'd exited, and it was a big reading as this thing kind of topped out. Bearish divergence kind of comes in, and that was it for the top of the day. And then it was before 11 a.m. The window for a change in trend, and then we just sold off and off and off. So I'd gone to my bed because I got that 4 points in. I can't remember whether I was here for the bearish divergence, but that's when we got the change in trend. As soon as this thing breaks below support, we're into trend zone. We kind of test back up into amateur up bars. It's a flush pattern. Rambo patterns cannot get through there. Bang. So plenty of opportunities to kind of get short on breaks of blue professional bars as soon as we had that kind of confirmation that downtrend was in. The thing just went and went. As soon as we got through that 40 level, it just got smashed here. So nice end to the week, and I'm looking for some weakness kind of next week. I think we're going to get continuation of that, and hopefully on the currency charts and on the other kind of multi-market charts we'll start to see kind of some risk off stuff and a little bit of clarity in terms of where we're going. Hope you traded well, and hope you're enjoying your weekend. Just reversed one long 50.25, long 50.25, so 3/4 point loss on that last one. Market just does not want to break, so double support kind of comes in here. We bounce back up, Rambo patterns into it. 1500 tip bar chart. Just didn't want to break into a downtrend here. It's just a deep retrace, kind of back down, on 4500. You know, it looks like a bullish divergence kind of setting up. This, you know, is weak selling. Just look at the values of better momentum kind of coming into it. So blue professional bar kind of come in here, broken above the highs of that, good. Alright. So then to test the highs up here at 53s. That's where we got to go. Break above here into an uptrend. Here we go. Little gathering. Okay, blue professional bar, so a little gathering under this resistance, kind of breaking through, jumping the creek. So here we go. Come on. Okay, break into 51s, take us into a trend move. A little bit of professional bar on 500. And then here we go. Getting exciting. Then we're going to, what is this, 375. Some targets at 425, so that's good. So come on, let's keep this going. Just exploded up through resistance into an uptrend here. Ended up being bullish divergence, blue professional bars. Bang, okay, 375. Previous highs, so we're at 275. Targets at 425. So when we get to 375, it'll get interesting. Just pushing up through resistance here into an uptrend. There we go, we got to 350. We always get a little bit of weakness, like a double top kind of. Yeah, must have been some, set up some algos or something when we get there. But no blue professional bars taking profits. We're in this strong uptrend, it's going a little bit parabolic. So come up through threes, just looking for 425. Oh, just out, 425, just a little bit of a rush. Exhaustion patterns here on 9,000 on better momentum. Interesting, no blue professional bars kind of came in here. But good. Oh, there we go. There we go. So that'll be something like a pro signal exit kind of up here on this left shoulder. Excellent, all done. Just a minute later we're up at 6s. So there's more in it, but there's the pro signal exit finally goes off. Look at this. Unbelievable, 26 big readings, bang bang bang, just exhaustion. So not sure what it's going to do. I'm off to bed, but yeah, there's more in it if you kind of kept holding on to that exhaustion pattern. All of a sudden everybody, whoa, yeah, they just needed to get along. Okay.